If I leave this here, can you hear me over there?
Yes.
Okay, great. You can hear me over there. All right, thanks. The E is silent. Well, I earned that E, so don't take it away. This is a scene from, oh, by the way, Maddie, nicely done, and Matt, great job. So this is a scene from my novella, The Pet Peeve Trigger. I'll start with a little backstory so you can catch up. The story takes place in southeastern Pennsylvania on some back roads you might not know about. Lisa is a single mom with 3 young kids. She gets up Saturday morning to prepare breakfast, but is out of eggs. She makes a quick trip to Wawa while the kids are sleeping. She takes a shortcut on a 2-lane road that is surrounded by trees until it opens up near the entrance to a charter school. There's a steep hill on the road, and she drives over the crown and begins to descend. She notices a parked car on the opposite side with a big dent in the driver's door. She's distracted, and she almost doesn't see the man below at the intersection waving at her to stop. A pickup truck with a smashed-in front fender is parked diagonally across, blocking the road. As the man comes closer, she realizes how huge he is, a massive mountain. He tells her, "There's an accident. I'm afraid the police will jail me. Please hear my story so you can back me up." Lisa turns off the car and steps out. The man advances quickly, backs her up against the car door, and grabs her wrist in a crushing vice-like grip. He introduces himself as Patrick and proceeds to tell her not just about the accident, but about his entire life and his personal philosophy in an erratic, rambling fashion. Never leaving her out of his grip, he walks her down to the truck to check on his dog and retrieve his steel-tipped cane. He used that blood-spotted cane on the driver who hit his truck, moved the car to the side of the road, and planted the body behind the wheel. Lisa learns that Patrick's got a bum leg, the result of an abusive childhood, as well as a large scar across his forehead. The scar turns red when he's agitated or excited. He says his nickname is Patience, as his parents were often reminding him to calm down. Lisa realizes that she's the captive of a deranged man. As the scene begins, she manages to distract him and attempt to escape. With his attention averted and his body turned, Lisa pulled her leg up toward her knee and rapidly extended it, striking Patience right behind the weak kneecap. As the leg collapsed, his grip on her wrist loosened and she broke free. She frantically dashed for the grassy area, heading up the hill toward her car. Off balance, falling and putting his hand out to stop hitting the ground, Patience rose to his feet, shouting at Lisa, "Don't try to run. I'm faster than you. Just do what I ask and everything will work out." Lisa was off the road now, running on grass at a half crouch. She wanted to stay out of his line of sight and hoped he was looking towards her parked car instead. The ground sloped downward to the left, and it became difficult to run. She attempted to spider crawl on all fours. Lisa stretched too far in her straddle. Her knee touched the ground and hit a sharp rock. She fell hard to her left, quietly gasping in pain as she tumbled down the grade, rolling over and over as the ground became steeper. The hillside sloped downward to the retention pond by the charter school. As she tumbled, Lisa could hear Patience walking on the side of the road above her, close to her car, still looking for her there. "Guess I'll have to give you a bedtime tap with my cane and put you in your car, all normal." Lisa's tumbling body met more sharp and hard rocks on the way down. She held back her urge to groan from the bumps and bruises. She worried she might drown in the water or make too much noise on splashdown. Her fears were unfounded, as the basin only retained about 8 inches of water. Her entrance into the pond was as quiet as a gator sliding from a riverbank. She came to a final stop on her back, looking up at the clear blue sky. She held a quick image in her mind of snakes, water bugs, lizards, mosquitoes, leeches, frogs, and quickly rolled over onto her stomach. Her reward was a mouthful of muddy water. Above on the roadway, patients looked under Lisa's car. He scanned the fields and the woods. His next investigation was inside the car, where he quickly snatched the keys from the ignition. After searching the back seat, patients went through the glove compartment and retrieved a small black case and a power cord. Lisa, afraid that patients would look toward the basin and see her, tried to scrunch down into the mud. As she immersed her face into the water, she had to lift her head to the side after a few moments to get more air. She could feel the mud and water entering her ear canal and hoped that was all that was sliding around. Above, Patience was getting out of the car and holding his prizes overhead as if sharing a treasure with the sky. He really only wanted to share them with his pet, but spoke loudly, hoping that Lisa would hear as well. "Oh, Fluffy, what a day! What a great adventure! I'm so glad you taught me to be going for a ride instead of Saturday morning cartoons." Our fun continues. I have a GPS. All we have to do is plug it in and we're home. And we can visit our family members just like we promised. Too bad about this car. It's a Toyota. I can't be seen driving this. What a shame. Lisa heard every word, and the iciness of the water was no match for the chilling fear that now gripped her heart. She heard the familiar sound of her camera starting up. Was Patience turning her car around and heading toward her innocent children? I need to do something and do it fast. But what? It sounded like the car was in neutral and racing the engine. Lisa lifted her head slightly and sensed an enlarging overhead shadow as the noise grew even louder. Instinctively, she rolled over onto her side and scooted backwards, just as 3,263 pounds of hurtling Toyota metal came crashing down into the water just a few feet away from her legs. That was fun, wasn't it, Fluffy? Patience again, sounding happier than he had any right to be. He walked down to the intersection in his parked truck. Time to meet the new neighbors. That's not the end of the story, but it is the end of my time.